Welcome to Rising Coaches with Sofia Bernardi. This week's episode is super exciting because I am interviewing my beautiful client, Tara Shaw. Tara Shaw is a business mentor for the beauty and aesthetics industry with over 22 years of experience. She's gone from owning multiple clinics that generate millions to now mentoring salon and clinic owners, focusing on systems, processes, financial management, and memberships. Now, Tara came to me pretty much exactly 6 months ago, feeling very stuck with how to start her coaching business, knowing that it's very different from a bricks and mortar business, and actually generate leads and sign clients. She wasn't making any money, and today, 6 months later, she has made over $307,000 in just 6 months from starting from zero. That just goes to show how powerful the right support and the right strategy is. And I'm so grateful to be working with her and supporting her every single step of the way. I am beyond proud of her. And even from the duration of when I invited her to come onto the podcast to when we recorded the episode to now when I'm recording the intro for this episode, her income has grown so much between all three of those stages that I've had to continuously ask her where she's at financially so I could share this incredible result with you all so that you know what can be possible for you with the right support, the right strategy, and also the right mindset, because there's no doubt in my mind that one of the bigger contributors to why Tara has achieved so much success outside of course, her having 22 years experience in the business and entrepreneurial world as it is that she's an action taker. She joined Scale School even when she didn't really feel like she had the money and she was nervous and scared and didn't have evidence that it would work, to leaning straight in, going all in, coming to the calls, asking questions, asking for support, setting aside a day every single week to implement what I teach inside the curriculum. And that is why she has the result that she has today. So enjoy this interview where you learn the lessons, the particular strategies and processes that have supported Tara to scale exponentially. Enjoy. Welcome, Tara, to Rising Coaches with Sofia Bernardi.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I have been looking forward to this episode for weeks now. I'm so excited because you inspire me very greatly and you inspire a lot of the members inside Scale School as well. So I have no doubt in my mind that this episode is going to be very well received on the podcast as well, because you can inspire and empower so many younger entrepreneurs, female coaches, and service-based businesses that anything is possible when you have the right support and the right strategy in place. But before we dive deep into all of the amazingness that you are, can you share a little bit about you and who you help in your coaching business?
Absolutely. So my name's Tara Shaw, and I have been in the skin industry or the beauty industry for over 22 years now. I started out as doing work experience, and that's just when I passionately fell in love with being able to help women find their confidence. And I guess my journey has then stemmed into owning salons and clinics and creating a membership model that helped provided, my business with cash flow certainty. And so now I've stepped into a role of being a mentor for salons and clinics across Australia and New Zealand, and we've got a couple of clients in America and UK as well, and really supporting them to implement a membership program into their business as well too, because that kind of continues to help them feel confident, like the very journey of my own journey did in the industry as well. So just helping people to feel confident and feel supported as well too is really important. So yeah, having the tools and the systems that they need.
I love that. At what point in your beauty business did you decide, I actually want to coach and help other people to do this like you have? What was that journey like?
Yeah. Well, after a lot of late nights crying on the salon room floor and missing out on important events with my kids, they were really little at the time, I implemented a membership program into my business, and it just had such a positive impact with regards to cash flow certainty and minimizing, last minute no-shows or late cancellations. And so I had a lot of friends in the industry who were sort of suffering from the same problems and pain points. And we started talking about memberships together and sort of seeing them implement the same things and the results that they were getting too, and just having that desire to want to help and support. I love being connected to my community in the industry, and so it just naturally evolved into a mentoring position within the industry.
I love that. I would love to know, because I don't even think I know the full answer to this. What was the time then between you deciding that you wanted to become a coach and help, salon owners with a membership model, and then finding me and us working together? What does that timeline look like?
Yeah, so I've always been in the coaching space for quite a few years now, but working with other coaches. But memberships has always been my passion. And then it was probably the start of last year, I really started doing some one-on-one coaching and a little bit of group coaching. And then this year, I sort of went, no, I want to make this, my all in. And that's when I found you and watched one of your webinars, and it was amazing. And then, yeah, took the plunge to sign up with you, and it's been absolutely transformational for the business.
Oh, amazing. That's so good to know. The journey and the backstory of that you were immersed in the coaching industry and you had experienced, that side of things. So when you found me, like at that point, like what were you struggling with? Like, let's just paint the journey for people that, are maybe now where you were 6 months ago. I think it was roughly 6 months ago. We connected. Where were you at? What were you struggling with? What were the pain points? Like, yeah, paint the picture for us.
Yeah, so um, we'd sort of engage some help, we like to get our website done and, some social media and support, I guess, to generate leads. And it was a bit of a flop, to be completely honest. There was just, yeah, so like we had to pay to have our website done again. And it was a lot. And we were just really struggling to generate, I guess, consistent leads. We had leads coming in, but they just weren't consistent. And I guess generating leads for a mentoring or a coaching business is a little bit different to generating leads for a skin clinic.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I was like, there is a missing piece here. I know that there is something really amazing to share with salon and clinic owners when it comes to memberships. And I guess all of the other things that we teach with regards to numbers and marketing and all of that as well. But they just sort of seemed to be like, what was on offer was too amazing for people not to pass up. But how did I get that message out there to people so that they knew, who I was and what it was that I was doing and how they could actually work with me? And yeah, that's when I found you.
That's so amazing. And now that you obviously have a very successful coaching business and you look back on that time, what do you feel like, what pathway were you going down that wasn't the right thing? Like, was it a mistake to like set up your website, or like what was kind of the things that in hindsight maybe was the wrong focus for you that was resulting in the inconsistency?
Yeah. So I think the biggest things were trying to, I guess, set up the business, I guess, in the same way that you would set up a bricks and mortar business, which kind of made sense to me because that's what I've done in the past with the other businesses that I've owned. But obviously, an online or a virtual business is very different to a bricks and mortar business.
Yeah.
And whilst some of the concepts and strategies definitely do apply, there are a lot that absolutely just don't. And I think that was the biggest missing piece was I didn't know what that really looked like. And so, yeah, obviously working with you, I've now been able to find those missing pieces and implement them. And I think it was, the best impact on the business to be able to implement those, I guess, virtual side of things to having a business. But yeah, I think the biggest mistake was probably setting up, a website. And, I could have run it off my social media account that was already established. Obviously I'm using Kajabi at the moment, but I wouldn't even need to use Kajabi, but that was already set up before we spoke to you. But I think there's so many, opportunities out there to start up a mentoring or a coaching business with little to no expenses initially. But the biggest thing that you need to have is knowledge and the support of a mentor or a coach to be able to do it.
Of course. I honestly don't really know anyone that is successful in this industry that doesn't have that consistent high level support. Like, I just don't know of it because we just don't know what we don't know. It's kind of your exact experience, right? Like, you were trying to create the business based on what you knew, but that's what worked for a bricks and mortar business, not for an online coaching business. And that it can result in us spending too much time or too much money on the wrong things, let's just say. So I suppose when we found each other, were you making any money? How often were you getting a sale? Were your social media platforms like set up? Like, yeah, what did that all kind of look like?
Yeah, so social media platforms were set up and website was set up, but we were sort of making sales, but really inconsistent sales, and definitely not in a place to be turning profit or, or to be paying myself anything. But that's all changed now, which is great.
Yeah, so let's fast forward to today. Where are you at now in your business financially, client-wise, and impact-wise?
Yeah, so we have over 20 clients in coaching program. It's a group program, which is just amazing. And then I have a handful of one-on-one coaching clients that I'm also working with as well too. So yeah, definitely profitable now, definitely paying myself consistently, and definitely have an ongoing and consistent, I guess, lead funnel set up where we're having leads booking in calls, and obviously converting those calls into clients as well, which is fantastic. We didn't
Yeah.
have that before. It was very inconsistent before.
It's so cool. Like, I wish people could experience our conversations together, because I'll be on a call with Tara and then we'll get off, and 5 minutes later she's like, signed another client, and then 10 minutes will go by and she'll be like, signed another client, and it just keeps going all of the time. Like, and we'll be on group calls inside Scale School, and she'll be like, she'll ask a question, and then by the time the call is over, she's like implemented it and received results from it. It's just incredible to witness your action taking and how you lean into support. Like, you don't choose to stay stuck. Like, no one is immune to challenges or problems in business, like whether it's emotional or strategic, and I've been there with you for it all. But the most important thing is that you feel comfortable. I've noticed, like, asking for help when you need it, but then you implement it. And I think that this is quite a rare thing. Not everyone does that. Some people don't know how to ask quality questions or know how to ask or receive help, and then some people really suck at then taking action. Whereas I've noticed with you, when I look at, okay, why have you skyrocketed and just made literally hundreds of thousands of dollars in the space of half a year, and some people try and grow their business for years and years and years, and barely earn a dollar. And I really credit it down to, well, you've got the support, you've got the strategy, but you're a great implementer. You're really great at leaning into those two things. And I just wanted to acknowledge you for that, because that's what I see on my end as why you've created so much success in such a short period of time.
Oh, thank you. Look, I think it's really easy, when you have all of the tools in front of you to think, okay, well, I've got all the tools now, I should be, making money. But I think what a lot of people forget is how important it is to actually implement and take action with those tools in your business, because you can have all of the tools, but if you don't do anything with them, then you're not going to see the results. And I think that's something that's really important. And, I see it sometimes with my own, students in my program as well. Those who really excel are the ones who, take action, and they ask a question and you give them a strategy and they go and implement it straight away and get the results. And, the ones who maybe don't necessarily get the results are the ones who ask questions, you give them a strategy, and maybe they don't really do anything with it. And that's challenging, because I think that's part of us as coaches. We do have to hold people accountable to a certain extent, but you can take the horse to water, but you can't force it to drink.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Like, I've really experienced this even in all of the programs that I've been in. Like, I remember so clearly one of the first bigger programs I had invested in. We had the same coach, we were on the same calls every week, and we had the same strategy. And some would succeed and do amazingly well, and some would struggle week after week. And it's not to make one right or wrong, but you got to look at it. Okay, like, what's the common denominators here, and then what's different? And really, like, we have the same coach, we have the same strategy. What's different is the user and how they utilize it. And so it's kind of that beautiful reminder that a coach can't save you, a course or a program can't save you, but how you utilize it absolutely can. And I think that self-responsibility and how you utilize mentorship and coaching is so, so powerful. But when you pair those three things together, amazing, amazing things can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I always love looking at a coach or a mentor, a bit like having a business partner, that you don't have to obviously share all of your money with, but
Yeah.
business partner who is almost responsible for, providing the strategies and the ideas. And then you're the other business partner that has to do all the implementation and the work, to see those results come through. And I think that's a really great way to look at, what is a coach or a mentor and how do they work for you in your business? Well, they're going to give you, strategies and resources and tools that you can then go and implement in your business to be successful.
Yeah, 100%. I would love to know. So when you joined Scale School, I saw you get results quite quickly. Obviously, as we've just discussed, you implemented quickly, but I would love to hear what changed. Like, what were you suddenly doing differently, focusing on differently, even some specific, strategies or mindset things or whatever comes up for you that you learned inside Scale School that really started to support you to get the leads, get the clients, and scale your business.
Yeah, I think number one was definitely creating a Facebook community,
Hmm.
where I guess we could create a community, for the industry where they could feel safe to be asking questions or, engage in conversation. And I guess the shift of, instead of us, pushing out knowledge to the community, was more about us posing questions that were thought provoking and got people, jumping in and creating conversations. And then on the back of that, it often, had people asking questions, looking for support. And that's where we could kind of step in and say, hey, book a call with us. We'd love to support you with that. And then from there, it sort of turned into them being a coaching client, which is, I guess, number one is the biggest thing, building a community, and creating that level of authority with the brand. And I think the other thing is just systemizing our lead generation as well and having a really clear process in place. We sort of didn't really have a clear system in place for it before, but now we do. And it's, the system that you teach in your program. So it works amazingly.
Amazing. That's so good to hear. I'm obviously a part of your Facebook community, as we've, refined things and whatever. And I have noticed that your audience do utilize, it's a very active group. People do ask questions and lean in. And I think that that's beautiful. Like, upon your reflection, is there anything you feel you have done that has allowed that openness for people to ask questions? I'm not sure. I know that you've made some comments around what type of people your industry can typically be like. And, is that a typical thing for your industry to feel comfortable, like sharing that they're stuck with something or they have problems in front of all these other people in the group? Or what's created that sort of safety to ask for support?
Yeah, I think just creating an environment where people know that they can feel safe to ask questions and that they won't be judged for the questions that they are asking. I think there's no such thing as a silly question except for whose name tag is this? It's one of my best dad jokes. But I think, just help people feel safe in asking for help when they need help. I think, we are very much, we're based in Australia, and I think predominantly, the personality is to be very stoic and not ask for help, regardless of, who you are. It's you don't ask for help. You be quiet, you sit down, you do what you need to do. But I think our world is very rapidly changing, where people are realizing that they do need to ask for help when they need help, and that they don't need to sit and struggle and stay where they are. They can ask for help because somebody has already paved the path for wherever it is that they want to go. And, if we all go on the journey together, we're stronger, when we work together rather than trying to work against each other all of the time. And I think for a little while, our industry has been very competitive, where people have been trying to work against each other. And I think the environment and the community, that I've really ensured to create has been one of bringing everybody together and working together. So there's no competition. It's all about collaboration.
I love that so much. I think that's so healthy as well. Like, in any business industry, that people in the same industry as you see them as competition, not competition, literally as collaboration, and inspiration. Like, I hope that, and I have no doubt in my mind from the community I've attracted, everyone listening to this episode right now isn't going to be sitting here being like, why does Tara have this and I don't? Like, they're going to see it as, wow, if Tara can do this, that means I can too, if I, follow in those footsteps. I'm really curious to hear, with your niche, you're helping salon owners to create a membership model, which is quite niche, quite unique, which I really love. And I really believe that that's a big reason as to why it does so well. You're not very generic in your messaging of like, we help you make more money or whatever. So I'm really curious, like, what's your perspective on how being really tangible, really specific, really niche has supported you in the growth of your business? Like, what role that has played?
Yeah, I'm going to use a skin analogy here because I think it's the easiest way to explain it. We've got in the industry, there's kind of four core skin conditions. So, and as a consumer, you would be aware of these. So there's pigmentation, there's acne, there's aging, or there's dehydration. And if you're a client who's concerned with anti-aging and you're looking at a salon that is promoting all four of those skin conditions, you're kind of going to sit back and go, oh, yeah, I do want to
And
go
they
there,
really
but I'm
help
not
me.
quite
Yeah.
sure. I don't know if they can actually help me. Like, I know they do, anti-aging treatments, but they also do acne and pigmentation and all of that. And this is actually one of the things that we teach inside our mastermind program is to be the master of one thing and do that thing really well. That doesn't mean that you can't do other things, and it doesn't mean that you can't teach other things. But if you just focus on one thing, you're going to attract people over and over and over again. So the focus, for me is obviously memberships, because it's the one thing that I know inside out and back to front, and I have done for so, so long. And so that attracts people in. And I obviously teach far more than, just memberships in when I do mentoring and coaching with my clients. But I think just being really specific about what it is, that you are the expert in or the master in every aspect, your marketing message, how you turn up, everything is so, so important to be able to attract the right people over and over again and to grow so quickly.
I love that. And I 100% agree. If you try and say you can help everyone with everything, you will actually attract no one. And I really think that you stand out in this industry because you've gone all in on as the expert of memberships, which I just don't see other people out there trying to do in your industry, which I think is really awesome. I'm really curious. You found me from watching one of my events and attending an event. And speaking of areas of expertise, that's probably the route I go down with. That's something I talk about a lot as my thing. And so I would really love to hear, like, what about that journey prompted you to then join Scale School, and what role has events then played in your business as well, seeing as that's how you purchased? What role does that now play in your business too?
Yeah, I think the concept of being able to host an event and being a one-to-many was really important, because I'm only one person, but I would love to have an impact on as many people as possible. Being able to look at that model when I watched the webinar and I went, oh, this is really interesting. I wonder if this would work for what I'm doing too. And I guess so I jumped on a clarity call with you after that webinar and had a great chat with you. And, we went through a roadmap together, and it really kind of opened my eyes about how something like that would actually work for me, as a coach in my industry as well too.
I love that. And has running events in your business model been a big factor of you signing clients?
Yeah, so we've run a couple of events now, and off the back of those, have definitely signed some clients from that as well. But even just the structure of the events, like the lead generation structure of getting people to register, for those events, register to book calls, the whole, concept and strategy of everything that you teach has, I guess, had an equal impact on the growth of the business. And I guess events is that one thing, or that master of one thing. But I know you teach far more than events in
I
what it is.
know. No, I do try and teach the full puzzle, because the thing is that you can run an amazing event, but if you don't know how to attract people to it and you don't know how to leverage it after, then it's only going to be so helpful. And that's why, as you know, like something that I sort of teach inside Scale School is that the workshop, yes, it matters, but it at the same time doesn't always matter that much, because people will literally purchase from you before the event's even started, or people won't attend the event and still purchase from you from everything that happens in the full system before, in between, and after. So, I'm really glad that you shared that. As we start to wrap up here a little bit more, I would love to hear, like, what are your biggest pieces of advice or lessons for people, like for coaches specifically, I suppose, that are wanting to get results like you have? What are your biggest things that come up for you?
Yeah, I think a lot of people put themselves, into a position where they're maybe just starting out and they're looking for help, and the biggest reason for them not, outsourcing that help or working with a coach or a mentor often comes down to cost. Or my business isn't making money yet, or I don't really have the money, to do that. And I just think if you really want the help and you really want the support, like, you will find the money to do it and you'll make the investment. As I did, my business wasn't making any money when I came to see you, but I personally put the money together and paid for it myself to be able to do that. And it was one of the best investments that I've made to be able to grow my business in the way that I have. So I think if you're sitting on the fence of, wanting to grow and scale your business and not sure where to look, definitely look at a coach or a mentor who has been where you want to go, and invest in working with them, because it'll be the best investment you ever make.
Yeah, and you've quite literally, thank you for sharing that, you've like 20x'd your investment. And the cool thing is that you have that information, that knowledge, that skill set for life. Like, we've been working together for 6 months now. It's not like any of that information just disappears after you, finish a program or whatever. Like, you have it for life. And so I think that just goes to show how powerful mentorship is. Like, you keep getting this return continuously. And I'm so, so glad that you trusted yourself, because I remember it being a really big decision, and a really scary one, because you didn't have evidence from the past that you would get a return on investment. And yet you trusted yourself, you trusted the process, and then you leaned into it, more importantly. And I'm not surprised at all. We're sitting here, less than 6 months later being like, wow, you've 20x'd it. Like, it's amazing. Like, you sign clients faster than I can keep up with. Like, it's so incredible.
Yeah, look, and I think that's a thing, right? It's always scary when you make a big investment in something, but I think you always have to ask yourself the question, well, why did you book that call in the first place if you weren't considering making the investment in the first place? So, don't let something like that hold you back, because it's probably, your intuition, to book that call in the first place. It's probably, the path that you need to go down to make the change in your business that you've been looking for.
100%. If we have any salon owners listening here right now and they would love to learn more from you or work with you, where can people find you? Tell us all of the things.
Perfect. So probably my Instagram is the best place to go. So it's Tara__Shaw. And that's TARA__SHAW.
Amazing. I will link that and anything else that we feel is relevant for people, so they can find you and connect with you. Is there any parting words that you want to share before we wrap up today that you would like to leave the listeners pondering on or thinking about?
I think just remember that you only have to take one step at a time. You don't have to run before you walk. So just take baby steps and do one thing at a time, and it will all come together for you.
That is so true. Amazing. Thank you so much, Tara. I love you. I appreciate you. And I know that this is going to be so well received.
Thanks, Sophia. I love you so much too. Bye.
If you thoroughly enjoyed this episode, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could take a moment to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss an episode. Your support fuels our mission to bring you even more valuable content each week. It truly means the world to me. My promise to you is that if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, then I'll continue making incredible episodes every week that help you to grow and scale your coaching business. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next episode.